A
Yeah.
little what?
You're a little
Low.
Ugh. I literally changed nothing. That's on y'all's end. Go into Discord and adjust my volume on my screen if it bothers y'all
Bro,
that
you're at
much.
100.
Yours is all the way up.
Yeah, it's always up for you. Trash.
Well, I don't touch any of my shit.
Maybe you don't, but maybe someone else does.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
someone
your
throws their
cat.
jacket on it.
How about y'all just deal with it?
Set a marker and make sure that it's always in the same place.
It always is.
You don't know
It
that.
never changes. Like war.
War
Do you check it?
never changes. Have you checked the
War changes a lot,
Have you-
actually.
Have you checked the Twitch yet, Devin?
Nope, have not, but I will, baby.
God dang it, I got.
I'm
Appreciate
coming out. I
Hold it
want
in
the
read.
world to
You gotta-
know.
Depends on how long this episode is.
Plus, we're starting so late. I've been here since 5:55.
I was here earlier.
The second time it was 10. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I could hear all of you, so we're solid.
I'm recording. 3, 2, 1. We're talking and. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Caped Complainers. We are a weekly podcast show talking about all things nerdy, all things that we love and make us nerds. And I am joined by the core complainers. I have Tim and Reed. I am your host, Greg. Flippo is not here anymore. He has now become the new Reed, where he never seems to show up.
Wait, hold on. Am I a bad connotation?
Oh, I was about to ask, is Reed a core complainer?
I don't think it's a bad connotation. Unless you're not here, in which case, yes, you're the worst.
You should be ashamed. All right.
So-
There's
how
a
about-
reason why Greg only put Tim and Devin and Greg on that podcast
First of
label.
all, I didn't make.
I did it, Devin. First off. Second, I know one or two of you guys were in the channel with me, and I asked who all I should add to it, and someone specific, not naming names, said, yeah, it should just be us, because the other two...
I-
So,
I feel like that's me, because if it were Greg, Tim, it's totally Greg.
I'm not saying names, Devin.
I'm just saying, man. If we're ever in like a Saw situation, Tim would not be somebody I'd want to be in the same room with.
Oh, dude, I would kill you so fast.
Yeah. Before Jigsaw even does his little speech, Tim is already planning on killing him.
Tim just looks around and is like, oh, it's this situation?
Oh,
You know,
oh, it's behind your eyeball? Here, I got you. No, don't move, Greg.
I could stab him here. I could stab him with this. I could hang him from right there. Like
I could just make sure he's sleep where he'll suffocate.
The Jigsaw turns on the TV. Oh, God, what happened? I was about to say you two are winners. You got $1 million.
like so I get the million by myself.
Man, that'd be the biggest twist of all.
Oh, yikes. Someone's going to have to
All right.
comfort Greg's girlfriend.
Might as well be me. Tim stands up. I'm on my way. All right. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about a very divisive Marvel movie that's come out, where you either really like it or you hate it, and it's getting a lot of hate. And we're going to talk about it later. But first, we have the greatest contribution to podcast radio of all time, Thoughts with Devin.
Me?
So this is a good time to go to the bathroom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you
What?
If you want to mute your mic, take off your headset for a bit. You're good.
If
He doesn't
you're
use a
listening-
mic
if you're listening
or a
at home,
headset.
fast forward like 15 minutes and join
Well, the
us,
last couple of topics, it's been like 30 minutes. Devin will have like
Yeah.
more than one thought for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want from me.
Brain-
So it's been a good week. It's been a good year.
All right.
Okay, so it's gonna start with this question. When's the last time you read a book, like a real book?
I literally
Couldn't-
just finished one right before I
couldn't
hopped
tell
out
you.
here. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Greg, when's the last time you read a book?
Does a comic book?
Nope, a
count?
real book
Okay. At least
with chapters and everything.
At least 3 years ago.
Okay, so it's been a very long time for me. Like I don't think I've read an actual book since high school. I just have not, like, I'd rather read the comic books and stuff,
Didn't
right?
we have assigned reading in theater? Did you read your theater history book, Devin?
I was really good at skimming and bullshitting. So,
Yikes.
anyway,
I got compared to
so
him
I
folks.
decided that I would start reading some. I saw a book online that on Facebook. What's their like version of Twitch or of TikTok? Facebook Reels.
Yeah.
From this guy called AP Beswick, who is like promoting this book series, right?
Can you read it for those?
It's
of us
called
who can't see you?
it's the Levanthria series. The first book is called A Forest of Vanity and Valor, and it's supposed to be like this retelling of Robin Hood with like magic, and it's like Avengers-esque, things like that, right? So I was reading it, and Casey got this for me for Christmas, like I asked.
Are we gonna
And
get God anytime soon?
I don't know if just not read a book in the longest time, or if my expectations are just too high, because I read like the first chapter, and I was like, this is shit. This is awful writing.
It's always
No.
It would just
No,
be
no, no,
awful
no.
writing, Devin.
It's not slow. Yeah, but I haven't read in a book a long time, so I was like, is this how all writing is? Did I just forget? And this is why I stopped?
Well, is this a particular author?
I think it might be, because then I started reading a different book, and I was like, oh, this is like way better. Because I got 8 pages in. I didn't even get 8 pages. I got 3 pages into this, and I was like, I can't read this. And I'm like,
You just said that
20-something
you read a
pages in a
chapter
new-
in that book.
yeah, you want to see the chapter?
Is it
Here's
3
one.
pages?
Here's 2. End of the chapter.
Oh, okay.
And
You
the way
made it
this
sound
book
like
works.
You read so much more earlier. You're like,
No,
I read a
no,
whole
that's-
chapter, walked 1,000 miles across the sun.
That's the problem with this book, is all the chapters are like 2 pages, man. That's chapter 3. I'm on page 7.
It's a
Chapter
book for
332.
I'm on chapter 4. I'm on page 10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so, like, I wanted to read this to you guys to see how you thought. Like, is this good writing?
You're gonna
Or is
read
this...
the book?
No, just like a small paragraph.
Okay,
Can we
I'm
do this?
definitely
The
gonna read it.
opening
I'll be
paragraph.
back.
What?
All right. Well, here, give us like 3 sentences.
Okay.
And I'll even, what's the tone of the book? I'll add
Serious. So it starts out with this guy. He's a
Would
works
be
for the
better.
king, collecting
I
dues.
think it would be better if you read a smut, like 50 Shades of Grey. I would pay to
What if
listen to that.
What if I read it with a smut tone?
Yeah.
Yes, do that.
Dude, they pulled his string back with such tension.
Okay.
His
I'll add
bow
some music.
was so taut.
It says it right here in the book.
Yeah, all right.
I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read just the first, like, the opening to it.
Okay.
I look up at the moon, its reflective light casting a crescent shadow over the ginnel where I hide. A foul stench is in the air, bad enough that with every breath I take, I taste the muck that lines these wretched streets. I let out a sigh of frustration. We are crouched, hiding in the slums, and my legs grow increasingly numb. That's it. That's the first paragraph. But if you read through, they use the word crouched and frustration at least like 10 more times.
Who's the author of?
This sounds like AI.
A.P. Beswick.
Who's
AI Beswick.
Y'all know
And there are 4 books.
who at the top of the? Does anybody know who wrote the Jurassic Park books?
No,
Didn't know they were Jurassic Park
I didn't
books.
realize that either. I would love to watch or read a Jurassic Park comic book. That
Yeah.
would be legit.
Yeah, it's based off of a book. Michael Crichton. He uses the same words over and over again. So possibly, like, crouched is just like his little thing.
I'm choosing this word and I'm sticking to
I know.
it.
Let me tell you the other thing about this book.
Hey, AP,
So the way that the chapters are done,
what's this dude's name
the
again?
A.P. Beswick.
Hey, AP Beswick, how about you use kneel this time? No, they crouched.
So the other thing,
My knees creaked as I lowered my mask towards the earth. I can't do that.
Nah, that sounds
that would have
stupid.
been so much better.
He
That would have
crouched.
drawn me in. So the other thing about this is it's written in
That's
first
fine.
person, which I don't mind first-person books, but the first-person perspective swaps depending on who the chapter's about.
Yeah.
So, like, the chapter's about one guy, and it's
That
from his
usually
perspective.
happens in every book, Devin.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
yes.
like, yeah, the same thing happens in the Percy Jackson series. Is chapters are about the different kids.
Yeah.
Well,
Same thing
and they're-
in the Inheritance cycle. Same thing in the Harry Potter books.
No, not in the Harry Potter books. They don't.
No.
It's always actually that's not even written from first person. That's written in
No.
third person.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it? I remember it going through chapters with people who are not Harry.
I mean, yeah, they talked about chapters like that, but it was always in third person. It was never in first person.
Okay.
When they did dialogue, it might have been first person.
Hmm,
All right.
maybe.
It was
But-
more of a Devin's book review than a thought, but thank you, Devin.
Yeah.
The thought itself, like,
Cut him off.
am I just like crazy? Like, does that suck? Or
Honestly, I'm going to be
I
completely
think-
honest. It sounded like a normal book to me, and I
Oh.
would probably
Yeah.
read at least 2 chapters before I made a determination on it.
no?
Yeah.
I had Casey read it while I took a shower the other day, and she came back and she was like, "I crouched. We crouched. They crouched." I was like, "Okay, yeah, okay, that's what I thought."
Well, Michael Christian, in Jurassic Park, the book, he uses like gnashing and like crunching and flesh a lot.
And gnawing, and
Yeah,
flogging,
like-
and sneezing.
But the thing about books are like they're very like they really have to over explain shit. Like in the book Jurassic Park, we don't actually get to the park for at least like halfway through the book. And so it's just kind of like you have to deal with books are just a lot.
Yeah,
I will say,
I
everyone says that the Dune series is really good. I get like 1 chapter into it, and I am just like, do I really want to read this book? Is this something that I need to do with my time?
I don't have time.
And I've
Casey
tried it
turned me on this
multiple
one, which I'm like 20 pages into, and I'm super into it. It started in the action.
It
and I
took
was
him
like,
3
man,
days to get 20 pages.
me 2 days. Thank you very much.
While he was crouching.
I'm now on chapter 3.
I'm really into
I only read it while I'm on the toilet or I'm in bed.
Yeah, I like reading biographies. They just kind of get straight to the point.
That's good. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for your book review, Devin.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get into our main topic. At the top of the show, we said we're talking about the Marvels. I wouldn't say it's the newest Marvel movie. I think something else has come out, right?
What?
Well, then I guess it's the newest Marvel. The Marvel.
Prove it.
And
What If has come out? Not the newest thing.
yeah, a lot of hate has generated behind this movie. People saying like, "Oh," and a lot of people just hate Brie Larson for some reason. I have no issue with her, but a lot of people just hate her.
I'm right there with you. I never got the hate around her for the Captain Marvel movie, and I was just so confused. And people like make it weirdly about her butt. They're like, she doesn't have a butt. I'm like, well, okay, calm down.
No,
And you know what?
This is a fictional
Let's
character,
find out.
man.
What's the shape of your butt have to do? with
Right,
this?
man. It had nothing to do, but they made it weirdly specifically about her butt.
yeah, like I don't understand the hate around this movie.
You guys know how Devin gets weird and specific about Nightwing's butt in like literally anything we talk about Batman?
It's not just
That's
me.
how weird and specific we're getting.
I still have nightmares. And Devin, yes, we know you're probably about to make a joke about Harley Quinn always obsessing about.
What? No, it's literally everyone. Nightwing obsesses about his own butt.
I guess I'm no one to you then, Devin, because I don't.
Yeah, you are, Tim. Who are you?
Yeah, this
No one.
movie it's found in hate, and
Tim, show us your butt.
it's don't show us your butt, Tim. It's being panned for being like the worst Marvel movie ever made, which is not true.
God no.
Quantumania is the worst movie ever made, but it doesn't.
Oh, Tim, he dropped something. Oh no!
Oops.
Tim. For those of you who can't see, he's showing us his behind because he dropped something.
Did you say Quantumania was the worst movie? Because I would argue that Thor: Dark World or Thor: Love and Thunder were the worst?
Well,
Thor:
okay,
Love and Thunder.
I'll put it like this: Quantumania is just the most disappointing.
Really? Thor: Love and Thunder was the most disappointing because the third Thor movie was great,
Yeah,
and then it dropped so hard.
And then they were like, hey, the jokes that we threw into Thor 3, let's just double them in Thor 4.
Pretty much to the point where Chris Hemsworth was like, I would rather not have him come back as a director, and I'd rather do a more serious Thor next time.
I think that would be cool.
and that's my point. It's the Marvels is not the worst. There's definitely lower bars here, but I feel like the people who are hating this movie are like members of the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
They are.
Just because it's
And butt lovers.
Yeah, it's just because it was like a female-led movie.
Yeah.
Which everybody in it's great.
Yes.
Kamala Khan's opinion carries the
Yes.
movie.
No, yeah,
Damn.
for real. I was here
Yeah.
in a movie. I don't know if she has any prior experience, if she's in Bollywood or something like that.
I think they said
But
she
going
doesn't,
from-
right? She was straight
No.
off the rack.
He was like
Her-
brand new to acting in the Marvels, or in Miss Marvel,
Yeah.
the TV
Yeah,
show.
so going from a show to immediately a Marvel is
But also,
great.
she does kind of play herself like her as a person is like a big Marvel fanatic.
That's completely fine. A lot of
Yeah, no, I know.
Who
actors
you
do
want to
that.
be in your movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves does it in everything. What's his face? from
So
Taken,
does-
everything.
Ryan Reynolds does it in
Ryan
everything.
Reynolds, yeah, exactly. And these are people that we love.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't the hate because
Yeah,
I genuinely had a fun time watching it.
agreed.
It was entertaining. I thought the characters, they had tremendous chemistry. Complaints, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this movie was without flaw.
Give him to
But,
us.
but to get the hate it does is unwarranted.
Okay, we get it. Hey, now give us the actual complaints, buddy. The meat and potatoes.
Fuck this part. Well, I really didn't. Okay, it's a really boring villain. I really like didn't like. I get her motivation, like the planet's dying, and she's just trying to get resources. But she was the most one-dimensional, boring ass character I've ever seen. And like every time she was like, normally Marvel villains show up, they're the best parts. You're like, oh yeah, give me Kang.
Yeah.
Give me Thanos. Like
Now give me a different
Who's
Kang.
the God
Yeah.
Butcher? What was his name? God Killer?
Gore,
Gore?
the God Butcher.
Yeah, he was actually the only good part of Love and Thunder.
Yeah, so like their villains are usually standout characters. But this one, I don't even remember her name. Like I think like near the end of the movie, Captain Marvel says her name, and I'm like, oh, that's her name. I didn't even know who she was.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think one of y'all said, some other review about it was like the villain is forgettable, and I'm like,
Yep.
yeah,
Very.
So
I get that
forgettable.
now.
I think it would have been better. The villain would have been better if at the end, instead of whenever Captain Marvel was like, yeah, I'll reunite your son, if the villain was like, thank you. It became a message about redemption. Everybody versus just, I'm still evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the villain just like, okay, what did that serve?
Yeah.
it was just a big old accident.
Yeah, it was just like, and like she like clicks her little bangles together and like looks like she's like, I'm surprised this happened.
I know.
And then,
Everyone's like,
well,
you're gonna die if you do this. She's like, I'm special.
yeah, and then, like she, yeah.
All right.
So special.
So villain was a real butt killer in this movie, and also I wasn't a fan of how jokey Nick Fury is in this movie.
Yeah.
He did have some solid one-liners, though.
He did.
Like what?
But
Sharon.
it was a little too heavy.
I saw the movie a long time ago, but I remember there was one point where he was talking to, I think Kamala's parents, and he said something about how like, oh, we're not going to do that with this kid. I don't remember.
Oh.
I'll Google it.
Oh, and then the whole just being
there was-
so cuddly with the Flurgans.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one funny Nick Fury moment that actually made me laugh. Was like whenever Kamala is falling from the sky and
Oh, that.
Captain Marvel catch her,
Yeah.
and then like they switch like right at the last second.
Oh, it's Danvers. Great.
Yeah, Carol.
Yeah.
Is just like, oh, it's just Carol.
Yeah.
I think I literally laughed out loud.
Yeah, that was
in the
really
theater.
funny. That was a good one. Yes.
But he was almost a little too
Yes.
jokey.
I'm gonna
And
be
that
honest, I
kind
didn't finish Secret Invasion, so
of,
I was like, maybe some big character in it that made Nick Fury more jokey and less serious about everything, but
yeah.
Nah.
Well, I mean,
I wanted to
he was
see Nick Fury from like it wasn't Civil War, what was it? Captain America 2,
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
where he was like, I'm the secret spy with an extra eye, you know, where he was
Yeah.
like,
But
super
like,
cool.
how long ago did he get replaced? Because was that Nick Fury or was that a Skrull?
I think at Age of Ultron, that's where the switch happened with Talos and Fury. So I think that's whenever that happened. But I don't know. I do miss Serious Fury though.
Yeah.
I feel like his character in particular, he shouldn't just be dry bones, but he does need to have a little bit of a serious tone.
His,
to
I
it.
He has to has.
I think his humor should come from the same area that Batman's humor comes from. That he's
That's what I was gonna say.
Dry humor. Yeah.
Twinsies.
Twinsies.
Like, he's so dry and serious that he makes silly moments even sillier.
Yeah, it's like whenever he does make a joke, it's great. Like if he would have just done that, oh, it's just Carol thing,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been great.
Yes, that would have been
But-
even funnier. Yeah.
Yeah, that part really rubbed me wrong. But as a whole, I had a blast.
Mhm.
It was a very well structured movie.
How did it? Yeah. How did it rub your? How did it rub your whole? Sorry. How did it rub you as a whole?
No, I like the first one.
Yeah, as a whole, it was just, it was very fun. Like for me, the best part of the whole movie is the cats eating everybody.
Oh
on
my
the ship.
god, that was hilarious.
Yeah, and they had memories playing in the background. I was like, this is cool.
That moment when the one guy was running from a Flurgan and Miss Marvel or
Yeah.
Kamala just like throws up a shield in front of him, and she's
And
just
she's so apologetic about it.
Yeah, right.
It's so funny.
But yeah, just with the Cats soundtrack and everything about that moment.
And then that one girl thought she escaped the Flurgans, and then she like looks over to her left, and there are two of
Yeah.
them just sitting there. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kamala's got the one cat. She's just literally just pointing it
Yeah.
at people. Like she's like, I'm sorry, but it was gold, and like that's what I mean of just like people are not liking this. Like this is fun. It's
Yeah.
almost James Gunn Guardians, kind of fun. Like I had a good time with it.
I think people just don't like it because they don't like Brie Larson, and they don't like Brie Larson because she's a woman.
Though
Yeah,
we
I
saw
agree.
where they didn't like Miss Marvel either as a TV show, and Miss Marvel was a good TV show as well. Like we all agreed on that, right?
Yeah.
I think you're right that it is because it's woman driven, but I don't think that it's because of specifically Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Well, originally it was like Captain Marvel 2 something something, and because of the hate that Brie Larson was getting, they changed it to The Marvels.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I didn't know that either.
Oh man.
And, yeah,
And all the jokes about what Spectrum's name was gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name
Professor
them all
Light.
off,
Professor X-Ray. And then they
Yeah.
recircle the same one a couple times. Anyway.
yeah. Well, I kind of gave my if or like ick moments in the movie. Were there any moments else in the movie that y'all remember that y'all didn't like any other complaints? Or did I
Um,
hit the nail on the head? for
just-
everybody?
Like the whole singing part in that one planet,
Mm.
like,
Oh.
and it was like kind of out of the way. But you know, if that's like actually canonical in the comics, then I'd be okay with it. But if it was just something to,
It was a little out there, but
Yeah.
I think it was fun. To mimic
Yeah.
what Greg said, I think it made it more like the movie more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she
Like if
stops-
someone did that in the Guardians, no one would have batted an eye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then she
but-
stops singing, and he's like, "Can he understand you?" Yeah, he's bilingual. As
Yeah,
if,
he's
like
bilingual. Yeah, that
non-singing singing, like.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bilingual.
I was tempted to fast forward through that scene. Like once they all started singing, I was like, God, like how long is this? And so like I was just like, no.
Yeah, at least it was a small stint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, stick it out.
is-
Something may happen.
And
which is okay.
if they would have
Yeah,
had
it-
them singing in the middle of that big fight scene, you know, between the planet and what's her face, then I think that would have been too much.
Yeah, I agree. It was appropriate length.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
I have a question because I don't really remember the answer. In Miss Marvel, the TV show, did they establish that her powers now worked without the cuffy cuff?
See, that
Without the
confused
bangle?
me too.
Yeah, same
I
here.
don't know.
Like, she was still able to do that little hand grabby thing
Yeah.
for them without
Yeah.
the bangle. So, like, I don't know if, like, maybe if you wear it for a certain amount of time, some of the energy stays in you.
So my
GG.
theory is that the power was in her all along because she's a Jinn, but
Yeah.
that the bangles unlocked her powers.
Wait, because she's a what?
She's a Jinn, right?
Jin.
Ginny? Did
Oh.
they called them Jinns in the TV show?
No,
They
yeah,
called
you're
them
right.
Jins, yeah.
Okay.
But I do remember that in the show, she was working with her friend, and he was like, "Yeah, these are like this unlocks some kind of like X gene in you," and so they hinted that she is a mutant.
Yeah.
But
Which
then they tell us that she's actually a Jinn.
In the
well,
TV series.
I mean, I think she's a bit of both.
I mean, maybe,
She,
but
like-
still.
Like I think that she is a Jinn, but she is also a mutant, and that is probably why both of those are unlocked. They worked together to unlock those powers without the bangle.
So what are the Bengals for then for her?
I don't know
Increases her-
specifically for her, yeah, but
Maybe it.
increases power.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So I did have some complaints. I thought the soundtrack for the movie was awful. I hated listening to all the different mashups of everything. And usually I think Marvel movies do really good with their soundtracks. Even their bad movies have great soundtracks. But this movie, it just felt gross to me. I hated listening to the soundtrack. Every time a new song came on, I'm like, stop it, please.
The first fight scene song was great, like when they're in Kamala's house and like they're all switching back and forth for the first time. I thought that
disagree.
song was. I liked it.
And
Um,
also, now that you bring up that fight scene, that's my other big complaint. I hated that fight scene. It was so chaotic and stupid, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Like, at least
liked
make it a little bit more like easy to understand, because it just made me dizzy.
Tim didn't like being confused.
Was
Yeah.
it them? Switching
I'm a dumb
that-
person. Spoon feed it to me.
Was it everybody switching that bothered you?
It was all
Just
of
the-
it, and the the flipping of the camera, and people being upside down, and then showing up, and now all of a sudden there's 12 people in a room that weren't there previously because they teleported with someone. It was everything.
Okay. I don't know.
I
First fight scene is what really kind of got me super interested. was
I,
like,
I enjoyed the second fight scene when they were swapping places because it was a lot more like focused. And I understand that they wanted the first fight scene to look confusing because everybody was confused, but it
And also, I
didn't.
guess because also it was tighter quarters, and then the second fight was
yeah.
bigger
I-
environment.
I enjoyed the part where they're trying to figure out the switching and timing
Mhm.
and being ready. I enjoyed that part.
too. I'm glad that they included it.
My big complaint was that I feel like the movie might have been better if it were a little longer.
That's what I was saying.
I
It was a
disagree.
really short movie.
It was hour 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember normally they're like an hour longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, my complaint was going to be it was too short because it was real choppy. You know, just here, and things were just explained real quick and things about stuff when they could have drug it out a little more.
And if they had done that, maybe the villain wouldn't be so shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I disagree. Counterpoint. I think it was perfectly linked because we would have gotten more of that shit villain in it. We would have had monologues from her, and I don't give a crap.
Yeah, but think about how little she was actually in the film.
Yeah, that too.
She was barely in it.
But the parts she was in weren't good. And so,
Agreed.
would you want like an extra 30 minutes of footage of her being not good?
But
I would
an
like
extra
either
45
more
minutes
explained-
of actual good stuff from the Marvels.
Yeah. I would probably still like it to be a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
At
maybe
least
then they could
15,
fix the
20
villain.
minutes, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was just quick and choppy with everything. Like having to, and then also, the storyline having to go to like different places. So again, that didn't help the choppiness of it all too.
I think it would have
Yeah.
been hilarious at the end if they didn't heal that space-time rupture. And it's just another thing that superheroes are screwing up in this universe.
It's like, oh, damn.
I know.
Tim, you didn't watch the end credit scene, did you?
No, because when I tried to skip to it, the freaking video wouldn't load, and it tried making me rewatch it from the beginning. I was like, I'm not rewatching this movie for the end credit scenes.
Yeah, what were the credits again?
Yeah, could you
So
tell me?
one of them.
Before we get to the end credit scene,
Okay.
I have one more thing. About the
All
end. So Monica, she's closing the portal
That's
from
right.
the other side. Why didn't she close it from her universe?
I
Okay,
was
so check it out.
wondering
Look, okay, so because it's exploded like this,
Yeah.
and so like this is her universe. No, hang on.
It exploded into our universe, so she had to get into the other universe to pull it closed.
To pull it closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead
Alright,
of being
'cause-
able to push it closed for some reason.
Maybe because it was too like this, so pulling it
Actually-
closed was going to be harder than just pulling it.
Actually, now that we're on this topic, how were both Kamala and Carol unaware of what Monica was saying? She was like, I gotta go close it from the other side. And then she goes over there, and then Carol's like, wait a second. How's she getting back?
I didn't fully listen to what she
I
said.
know.
Did she?
That
I
was-
zoned out for a minute.
Yeah. that
Can
was
you come back and write it down?
I know.
Yeah.
Come back inside, I'll punch it closed.
Oh man, another moment before we move on that like I started laughing at was after the Flurkin ship crashed, and then all the Flurkins are just like vomiting people out in the park. Gold.
I think, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I guess we'll go into the
Post-credit
end
scene.
scene.
Yeah.
The first one basically sets up the Young Avengers. Kamala,
That's right.
she goes to see Kate Bishop, who we've seen previously in the Hawkeye show. She kind of recreates the Nick Fury talking to Iron Man, saying, "I'm putting together a team."
Yeah.
And
That sounds kind
basically,
of dumb. I'm glad I missed it.
It's a little silly.
Yeah. Silly.
But
The other
Devin-
one,
Yeah, Devin, I'll let you say the other one.
the other one, you see Spectrum wake up in a hospital bed, very reminiscent of what you see in the old X-Men movies. And she looks over and she sees her mama, who's not her mama, and then she sees
In this reality.
Dr. Hank McCoy, played by what's his name, Greg?
Kelsey Grammer.
Yes.
Kelsey
Is
Grammer.
that the
But he
first
looks.
one or the second one? The one from Origins or the one from...
A different
the
one.
from the original.
The original ones,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer.
And he looked more beast-like than he does in those shows.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh.
He's like not wearing a shirt. He's wearing a lab coat and underwear, and he's
Yeah,
more
all-
furry.
Yeah, he's all CGI'd in this one, and that
Yeah.
kind of upset me too.
I think the CGI version wasn't up to date, but I feel like it was like we're only doing this for like a 10-second thing, so let's speed it up.
Yeah, and
Um,
so basically, so Spectrum wakes up, like Devin said, and she's like, "Mom, oh my God, I have so many things to ask you," and she's like, "I'm not your mom." And then you hear Hank come in, and
She
he's like,
says, I'm not your mom. And then she shoots herself in the head. And so Monica has to experience her mom's death twice.
and then
Gold.
Hank-
She missed the first time.
And then Hank McCoy comes in and he says, "Actually, you're not even from our universe," and all that stuff. So like they're just trying to figure out what's going on.
yeah.
And her mom is, I believe, Spectrum in this universe.
She's not. She's something else. Because I looked at it, I was like, "Who the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And so I had to look it up, and I don't remember what it is, but I'm looking it up now.
You said binary.
Yeah, she's
'Cause you said
binary.
that, and I have a Marvel Encyclopedia book,
Ooh.
Ooh. Tell us who
Ooh.
binary
Who's
is.
binary?
and I
then?
tried looking her up. Binary's not in there.
Oh.
So-
Wait, I think I have one too. Give me a second.
Oh my.
Hold
We're
on.
not going to wait for you, Devin.
Yeah. I think I tried
Deadpool
looking.
pajama pants.
I think I tried looking for Spectrum.
So the end credit scenes in Marvel, I know you said in our group chat, Tim, that you're getting sick of them.
Yes.
Yeah, they're overrated now. They're not good
Not
and worth
only
the
are they
wait.
overrated, but
Yeah.
other movies are starting to do it. And
Yeah.
it's making me so mad. I do
Right.
not care. Movies
think
were
if-
fine without them. Why does every movie need it now?
Well, I think if the end credit scene actually matters, because a lot of people seem to be going to Marvel movies just for the end credit scene.
Yeah.
But
It's not what I thought
really,
it was.
for me, I agree with you, Tim. End credit scenes in Marvel movies haven't mattered since
No. Yeah.
Endgame.
Yeah, because they
they're
haven't been building anything. They haven't. There's no unknown for us to unravel.
I agree. There's
Whenever they
nowhere to
were
go.
hinting at Thanos and Thanos' power, that was cool. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Now it's just like they have to add them because they need to. Like, what?
Yeah. It's like
That's
most
what
of them now involve either Kang storyline or just something completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Also, are they going to replace Jonathan Majors as Kang? Do you know?
From what I hear, Disney's already fired him.
Oh.
Did
So
we make that? Did we make a nerd news post about that?
No, we're not doing nerd news anymore.
Great
Well,
style,
let
man.
everybody know. Nerd news.
But so from what I hear is Marvel is looking at restructuring. That it's like they're either going to recast the Kang character or they are going to move on to the next thing, because Loki season 2 kind of works in a way that they could fix the Kang shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like Loki season 2 serves as the end of the Kang storyline. Like Loki becoming god of stories stops it. And so that could help, or they're going to just recast, go move forward, or find a new plan.
Yes, Tim.
Thank you. Trivia. In the comics, Carol Danvers is the original Binary. She starts using the codenames after she was given the powers of a star while out on a space expedition with the X-Men.
Oh.
That's literally the only information on here.
Binary.
Okay. See, and that kind of goes into the end credit thing. It's just like, okay, I guess now we have to wait like 5 or 6 more movies before we get an answer to that.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
yeah,
just...
like they don't.
Oh no, there's more. There's more to it. Sorry, Tim. I found
Oh,
more.
okay.
Okay, so
hurry up.
she loses. She gets kidnapped. She gets raped. She loses her powers.
Oh my God.
She is hanging out with the X-Men. She forms a bond with Wolverine. She gets kidnapped by a race called the Brood and is experimented on. And even though she's technically human, she had latent mutant genes, which helped her survive. And the accident that made her Miss Marvel in the first place. And those genes unlocked her true potential when exposed to the power of a white hole in space. And then she transforms herself into a cosmic being called Binary. Because of those experiments.
So
I hate
kinda
stories
just-
that use rape.
Yeah.
I don't
Like, I
I don't
feel
know
like-
if that is part of the story or not, but as I look through the whole thing, when she was raped, that's how she found her home with the X-Men. That's how it got there. But this is also a long time ago.
Interesting. So basically, her character is the Captain Marvel of the Fox universe.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's
I
what it
guess.
sounds like.
Okay, interesting. All right, well, oh well. Well, let's go ahead and drift into final thoughts and capes. Tim, lead the way with final thoughts and capes.
Final thoughts, I think we already hit the nail on the head. It was a fun movie. I would probably watch it again if someone was like, I haven't seen it yet. And I'm like, oh, you haven't? Well, they just added it to Disney Plus, and I use my friend Devin's Disney Plus. And so I would watch it again with a new person. I would say I'd probably give it 7 out of 10 capes.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Reed, what about you?
Yeah, it's a good fun movie. And yeah, we talked about all the bad stuff. So for me, I think maybe about 5.
Oh, okay, all right.
It could have been better.
Well, every Marvel movie post Endgame, it could be better.
Exactly.
But, whatever.
Hang on.
Oh,
There's some gems in there. Let's not forget.
Okay,
Or-
give us one gem, Devin.
Name
No proof.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Gross.
There's more trash than gem.
You kidding me right now?
It's the worst.
There's more trash.
I'll kill you.
So Devin, final thoughts and capes.
I'll give it A 7. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed it. I had fun. I wish it were longer, and I wish the villain were not quite so crap. But I mean, other than that,
Well, wait. Carol Danvers is the villain. She's the one that destroyed that planet in the first place.
No, she destroyed an AI that was controlling the people of the planet, or telling them what to do, or some shit.
Yeah, thinking it was the good thing to do.
Yeah.
But she fixes
Which it
her
probably
wrong.
saved, the rest of the universe, because the Kree were trying to take over the entire universe, right?
Super intelligence.
Yeah, so she
but
saved the
she
universe.
fixed it. She helped.
For me, final thoughts are, it was a fun movie. There was a couple of parts that were flawed. We got a random cameo from Valkyrie. I just now remembered. So I guess now the Skrulls live in New Asgard.
And I guess Valkyrie and Carol Danvers were used to be lovers.
Things.
Lovers, friends. Who knows?
That's right.
Oh my God, they were roommates. Who knows?
I know.
But
Experimenting.
Sorry, I have a
roommate.
question really fast.
Interrupted you. Okay,
Yeah, I wanted to interrupt you on purpose, actually.
go ahead.
The hammer that the villain was using, is that the same hammer that Ronan was using?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I thought
Yeah,
so.
those were-
Because she's an accuser.
So we had some interesting cameos here and there, and it was fun, entertaining. It had great moments in it. Does not deserve the hate that it gets. For me, I'm giving it an 8. The villain was terrible, but other than that, like, I still enjoyed the movie. I'd like to watch it again on a better quality. But but it wasn't bad.
Your
and
movie theater must really suck, huh, Greg? Yeah.
To get on a soapbox, stop hating women.
But it's so easy, Greg. It's so easy.
They're just as good, if not better, than men, because we're the worst. And just like it's a fun girl power movie, and if a guy likes it, you're not gay.
Yeah, and that's coming from 4 straight white men.
Yeah, just enjoy it. It's a fun movie. Get off your pedestal and just fucking enjoy it.
I will say that I did something that I forgot to mention in my thing that Greg said. I just wanted to reiterate. Kamala Khan carried that whole movie. She was the absolute best.
This movie. She was great.
A great spirit to it. Yeah.
That scene where they were all sharing memories and it was going to Monica's mother a lot, that was really sad to me. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Wait, stop.
Having to watch her, watching her like be told by Carol like, don't help anybody. Like, we can only save some people on that planet. Her struggle to be like, no, but we need to save everyone.
Yeah.
Like, God, man.
Yeah.
But then it annoyed me whenever she retreated and was like, we can't save everyone. I was like, okay, calm down.
Chill, bro.
Junior Avenger.
Yeah. But it's a fun movie, and I feel like a lot of people who are hating it haven't even seen it. So I'm just saying it's a great movie. Just give it a chance. And if you don't like it, there's a lot worse out there in Marvel.
Yeah, it's not like the Eternals or anything.
Yeah,
yeah, that's so bad. People didn't even slam the Eternals as much as they were slamming this movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and end it there.
Thank you guys for joining us with the Cape Complainers. Be sure to like and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
And make sure to check out our YouTube channel and our Twitch stream where we are streaming on Sundays at 6 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah. Hey, you like podcasts? You like looking for websites to listen to said podcasts? Well, don't worry. Search the Caped Complainers on all of them, and you'll find us. Give us a listen. Give us a review. Maybe 5 stars, maybe 4, but definitely no less than 4. And don't forget that nobody complains like a fan. We will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.